got special work to do here, you and me.
Hey, quick, name some of the scariest movies you've ever seen. What? Anything with Melissa McCarthy in it? She doesn't make scary... Oh, I get it. Hello, my name is Fu Manchu. That was a good one, buddy. Anyway, hey, you know what? I'm a horror movie fanatic. I love horror movies. I always have and always will. Now, I really feel sorry for kids today that didn't grow up in the 80s because, you know, there were some good horror movies back then. And you really can't go back and watch them because I had a friend who made his girlfriend watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original one, and she just thought it was stupid. You know, I can't blame her because, you know, by today's standards, it's not that good of a movie. Probably wasn't good back then, but it freaked everybody out. Now, in the 70s and 80s, a lot of good horror movies popped up. You had, like, you know, The Exorcist, and you had Chainsaw Massacre, and Halloween, and Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street, stuff like that. And through those movies, horror icons started popping up, like Michael Myers, and Jason Voorhees, and you had Freddy Krueger, and Leatherface. Oh my goodness, and I loved all of them, I still do. And let's talk about Freddy for a minute, shall we? That's right. Now, Freddy never scared me as a kid. I loved him. I just thought he was awesome. I should have been rooting for those kids, like, go get Freddy. But no, I was like, Freddy, get him, Freddy. So, yeah, you know, I guess it goes down to me being an evil genius. But I always root for the bad guys. Kind of weird, huh? But you know what? Nightmare on Elm Street is one of my favorite series of all time. And today's review is from something from that movie. So shall we get into it? Yeah, so 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, I bought this from a store. Today's review will be on The Real Toys and NECA, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. We have an old Mego retro-style Freddy figure, and he looks amazing. I am so glad that I wasn't able to find, let alone pick up, the original Freddy that NECA put out like this, because this one looks so much more better. I don't know. The original one looked fine. Like I said, I never saw it in the stores. I only saw it online. But this one looks so much like what I remember Freddy looking like. I mean, because we all associate him with the, you know, the green and red sweater and down the sleeves and stuff like that. And this is the makeup that we all think of, I think, because this is just awesome. And he comes with 2 heads, which I don't think the original one did at all. So that is very cool indeed. So let's look at the back of the package, shall we? Now here's the back of the package, and seeing how the package is a little slanted and the white world is very slick, I had to use this to make him stand up. So forgive me, it was either that or have it keep sliding down. I don't know why, this is all I could find, so it works. But anyway, as you can see, it's based on A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 of Freddy's Revenge, and there's the bus scene from the beginning, and that is awesome. Now, this one's not a lot of... Anybody who's a Freddy fan really doesn't like A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, but I do. I don't know, I like them all. I really don't have a problem with any of them, and yeah, is this one a weak link? Sure, but you know what? All of them are weak links if you look at it that way. But anyway, you know, I really like it, and I think that's awesome, and like I said, this is the most iconic version of Freddy ever. I mean, this is what we think of. And this was long before he was being all jokey, too. So he's kind of scary in this movie. I mean, he was very demon-like. He's very, very creepy. But anyway, there's the back of the package. And there's a little blurb there talking about Freddy. And it talks all about the movie. And it says, features interchangeable head and hand. I thought it said, and 6 hands. But no, it's just an hand. But anyway, there's the back of the package. Let's look at the front of the package one more time. So here's the front of the package for the very last time, and everybody says this in all of the reviews that I have seen for this figure, or any of these figures, by the way. They always comment on the great art that is used on the box covers and stuff, and I have to agree, this is amazing. This one looks more like a comic book drawing than the paintings that they usually use, but that is awesome. I absolutely love it. And there's the little school bus again in the background. But anyway, that looks amazing. And as you can see, he's got 2 different claws in there, his hat, and 2 extra heads, and that is so cool. So I say we open it! Before we get to the review, here's the card art slid out, and as you can see, that looks amazing. A lot of people make the comment that this would make a great poster. I have to agree. This is awesome. I absolutely love it. And then over here you will see the little tray that Freddy's on as you slide him out. So let me undo all these brads and stand him up. Not only does he have 3 little brads holding him into place, but he also came with a little snack pack. Check that out. If you eat that, you will look like Freddy. Now here's Freddy fresh out of the package, and I like what I see. This looks amazing. The only thing that would make this figure absolutely perfect is the fact that if the sweater was made out of a little bit thinner material so that it was more not form-fitting, but thinner, smaller to him, I guess you'd say, because it's really thick. But you know what? I don't care. I love it. I love the nostalgia look of this figure. It just looks so good. Plus, they've improved quite a bit. I mean, the original one looked really good, but this one looks so much better. Now, you're probably saying, hey, what did he come with? Well, don't you remember? I just showed you the package. But he came with his hat. He came with a screaming head, and he came with his claws. Because you're probably saying, hey, doesn't he already have those? No, he has the finger blades coming out of his hands themselves from the movie. That's a really cool scene when the blades came out of his hands. I just thought that was really neat. Or is out of Jesse's hands, I should say. But it looked so cool when they did. But anyway, there he is. Let's look at him from behind, shall we? So here's Freddy from behind, and one of the things that I absolutely love that NECA didn't do is they didn't give him a big Velcro strip down the back of his sweater. That would have ruined this figure. But, you know, like a lot of the older figures were made like that. You could just undo the Velcro and pull it off. But I'm so glad they didn't go that route. This looks so good. This is a really cool figure, and I'm very happy with it. Now, what would Freddy be without his trusty hat? Obviously, he's an Indiana Jones fan. That is awesome. It looks so good on him. Now, it doesn't really, like, snap onto his head and stay on. I mean, you could shake it and it'd fall off, but, you know, it's a loose fit. What do you want? But anyway, I think they did a really good job on this. The sculpt is just amazing. Now, let's see what the hat looks like on the other head. Now, here's the screaming head with the hat on it, and it looks so good. Now, check that out. And I even put his claw on there, as you can see. Now, this looks so neat. You know, this makes me wonder, what would it be like if NECA got into the 1/6 scale, you know, avenue and started making their own 12-inch figures? If they did them this good, that would be amazing. And they could keep the mold simplistic and use the same basic bodies and stuff like that. Heck, they could even have the shoes molded to their feet like that. Wouldn't matter to me, man. If they sold them for like, you know, $40 or something, I'd be all over those. That is awesome. Now, if you take his hat off, you will notice that his brain is exposed from when he ripped the skin off the top of his head. Oh my goodness, that is awesome looking. You know, it's pretty bad when you're being chased by a guy who wants to hurt you, but he'll show you how bad he wants to hurt you by hurting himself. I mean, that's gotta be scary. Now, one of the negatives that I found about this figure is, number one, if you look down here, you will see a bunch of little, like, paint flakings coming off. Now, that's just from where his hands connect that I see, because it's like they painted the hands, so I'm assuming the joints had a little bit of paint on them too, but none of the paint's coming off his head or neck or anything like that that I saw. But there are little flaky things coming off, not to mention little pieces of yarn and stuff like that, and little tiny ones, I mean little fuzzies. But that's okay. I mean, you should expect that. Oh, Freddy, what happened to you? Well, I did this to show you. Obviously, they sculpted his neck, which looks amazing. Now, if they had just went the extra mile and sculpted a little bit of burn on his chest or that cut or something like that, because in the original movie, he wasn't fully burned. Now, I don't know about this version, because he looks more burned than he did in the original, so I don't know. But, man, if they just would have sculpted his torso, that would have been so amazing. But I understand this is what they were going with, and I get it. It's supposed to be those, like those old Mego dolls. But that's fine. I just wish that his forearms were sculpted a little different, too, you know, like up to his, at least his elbow. But anyway, that's a pretty horrifying thing right there, and only one thing could make it better. His hat. Now he's super hip. I'm really sorry to have humiliated you, Freddy, but you know what? I had to show off your torso. But anyway, there's the figure looking pretty awesome. So before we're done, I say we look at it up close. Look, you can see little pieces of yarn. I'm telling you, man, he's falling apart. But that's okay. What do you expect? He's a burned-up dead guy. So here we go with a super-duper close-up, and oh, is it Christmas? Oh, hello, Mr. Santa Claus. Oh, my God, what happened to you? Oh, look at that sculpt. It is amazing. Now, his hat's making a bit of a shadow on his head, but there's his hat there. It looks pretty cool to me. Check that out. That is one awesome sculpt. Let's go down here to his hand if we can find it. There's his, well, where is it? There we go. There's his hand there. Oh, look at that. They did such a good job. Even his fingernails are dirty. Oh, my goodness. And then over here, we got his claws. Oh, man. Now, a lot of people say, you know, the claws are all bent in the package and stuff. But you know what? You can fix that really quickly with a hairdryer. You just heat it up real quick, and then you fix it, and it's done. So let's remove his hat and look at his head. It is definitely not easy to do with a figure like this. Oh my goodness, but look at that. He looks like a pizza, doesn't he? Oh my goodness, that is awesome. Let's see if we can see his eyes. My guess is they're going to be too recessed to see them, but let me see. If I can look at the Gangster's Kingdom eyes, I can look at yours, Freddy. Look at that. Oh my goodness, that is awesome. And I think they did an awesome job on his teeth. Oh man, that is so cool. And here's the other Freddy head, as best as I can show it off. It's going to be a little shadowy, but there you go. Check that out. Oh my goodness, that looks so good. They did such a great job on this sculpt. Both of the sculpts are a work of art. I mean, they did a great job. And then here's his other hand with the finger blades. Yeah, look at that. That is so awesome. Now, one of the complaints I have, besides these little things falling off here, is he doesn't have any peg holes on his feet, which his feet, I don't know, it's kind of hard to stand up and stuff, and they would really benefit with little peg holes. But I guess you can make your own, but you shouldn't have to. But there it is there. Now, before we close the video, I have to say, NECA already made this figure once before. Yes, they did. They made a Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 of Freddy already, and as you can see, he looks like an action figure and not a doll, but that's the same exact figure. And if you look, his hand's the same, his face is the exact same, although the new one has got better paint, in my opinion, because it's bigger. I mean, they can do a better job on it, and it just looks so much better. Same sculpt, though. And if you look over here, they came with the exact same accessories. They have the screaming head. Look at that. It's the exact same. But like I said, the bigger one's still better. They came with the same hand, and they came with the same hat. That is awesome. I mean, they did such a good job. And seriously, I don't mind how many times they want to reuse the same one, if it's, or same molds and stuff, if they do a good job. I mean, I think they really did a great job. So there's my silly review of the NECA clothed retro Mego blah 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 Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 Freddy's Revenge Freddy Krueger. And you know what? I am very happy with this figure. Now, out of all the ones that they've made in this clothed style, as they called them, I've only had the Jason, the video game version of Jason, but I gave that to Mr. Evilcheese. Jeez, Mr. Evilcheese, you got my doll. I hope you like it. That's alright, because I've already ordered the Roy. I hope you do like it, though. But yeah, I ordered the Roy from Friday the 13th, Part 5, I believe it is. A New Beginning or something like that. But anyway, I did get the Roy Jason, so I can't wait to see him. But I don't have him yet. I did order an Ash a long time ago, and when I got him, he was missing the gun holster on his back, the shotgun holster, so I returned it, because I didn't open it. I just noticed that the piece was missing, and I was thinking, ah, crap, I don't want it if it's missing a piece. So, aside from the Jason and this Freddy, these are the only two that I've ever really played with before. And you know what? I have to say, this Freddy is way better than that Jason. I love it. Seriously, I can't wait to see the Jason Roy figure. I think he's going to be amazing, too. Now, a little bit of trivia. You're probably going to say, hey, why do you like A Nightmare on Elm Street 2 Freddy's Revenge? Everybody else seems to hate it. Well, I don't hate it. How could I hate a movie when, oh, I don't know, a little something happens? So the trivia today will be the following. Do you remember the scene pretty close to the beginning, probably about 15 minutes into the movie, when Jesse comes downstairs and all his family is down there for breakfast? Do you remember that scene? Ah, yes. Well, the little girl, his sister, is digging through the cereal for a toy. Do you remember what the cereal was? Why, it was the one and only Fu Manchu's. That's right. And she was digging for Fu Man fingers. And how could I not love a movie that has that in it? So until next time, I think I'm going to go have me some Fu Manchus. Tune in for more Fu Reviews. Oh, hey, it's my good friend Felzy Krueger. Hello, Felzy. Come on, seriously, put away your toys so we can have some Fu Manchus. Let's go.